Greetings, everyone!
Greetings and welcome to the first and final governor debates of the fall 2024 governor election.
My God, I'm sick of you.
This will be potentially what decides the winner of the next election. My fellow San Andreans, I'm sure, as you are well aware at this point, the primary election, was extremely close. It was essentially a two-man race between Vice Governor Serrano and businessman Mr. Rump. There were two votes that separated the two in the primary election. This is the closest election in San Andreas history. So any little thing could single-handedly decide this election, which is why this debate is so important. My fellow San Andreans, welcome to the White House. I am Governor Jack Lamb, and I will be moderating this debate between the two candidates. Now, before we begin, I'd like to make a few things clear. First, when the candidates are speaking, please do not speak in the audience, both as a sign of respect to the candidates and to your fellow audience members. Sometimes you may be speaking or even whispering to the person next to you, but then there's some people around you who are probably thinking, oh, just shut the f*** up, but are too polite to actually say that to you. So please, do not speak when the candidates are speaking. That said, when the candidates do arrive on stage, please give them a warm round of applause. So, without further ado, I introduce both candidates. First is the current Vice Governor of San Andreas, Mr. Frankie Serrano.
Hell yeah.
He's going around.
And the second candidate, the challenger, businessman, personality, Mr. Donald Rump.
How we doing? How we doing, everybody? It's great to see you all. Great to see you all.
Thank you, candidates. All right, we begin with opening statements. Each candidate will have 60 seconds to make an opening pitch to the people of San Andreas. We begin with Mr. Rump. You have 60 seconds, starting now.
Hello, San Andreas. It's great to see you all here. I'm here to convince you why you vote Donald Rump and Meek Long for the next office that runs San Andreas. We are going to be present. We are going to be here for you. And we're going to listen to everything that you say. We are here to support you. We're here to make the economy great. And we're here to kill off all the drugs and weapons. I'm here to bring you all a better San Andreas.
Was that a cow?
Thank you very much, Mr. Rump. Next, Vice Governor Serrano, your opening statement.
San Andreas, Ronald Reagan once said the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." And that statement rings true today. I want to work to bring you a state government that is true to its original purpose, which is to help you. I have served this state through a long career in law enforcement, and I want to continue to serve you as your governor.
Thank you very much, Vice Governor Serrano. Now we move on to questions from the moderator. Let's start off with a simple one. Both of you are running to be the governor of San Andreas, partially because you believe that you are the better choice over the other person. So, very simply, why do you believe that you would be a better governor than your opponents? We will start. This is a question for both candidates. Each candidate will have 30 seconds uninterrupted to answer the question, and then we will give about 60 seconds for the candidates to go back and forth. So, first, let's start with Vice Governor Serrano. Why do you believe you are the better candidate? Go ahead.
Absolutely. I believe that I'm the better candidate because I've got the experience that you can absolutely trust. I've been doing this job for the past 5 or so months in our term. I have helped our law enforcement and National Guards members in numerous situations through the course of these past 5 or 6 months. I've helped stop sovereign citizens. I've rescued you, Governor Jack Lamb. I've made sure that I've listened to all of the concerns that our
Thank you very much.
individuals
Thank
have.
you. Now, Mr. Rump, your 30 seconds. Go on.
Well, the reason why I'm better than the other candidate is because I'm merely going to be more present. How can you vote for somebody that's never going to be there for you?
On guard.
For how many of you is this the first time you've seen Vice Governor Serrano in a long period of time? Can we get a show of hands?
Who the fuck is he?
Me?
Here we go. The point is proven. How are you going to vote for somebody that is never present to actually support you?
60 seconds back and forth. Serrano, you can jump in.
Now, you say that you're going to help the San Andreans, right? Why haven't you done it already? You're what, 8 months in office now, and you have done nothing?
That is incorrect. I've helped pass the, we've got a minimum wage law. We've got unemployment law now. We've got a bunch of laws that we now have that we didn't before I took office.
So
Mr.
everything
Rump.
that
What
Jack
have you
Lamb
done?
did.
What exactly? That Jack Lamb did not do those. We can.
How was
check
that
tapes.
question
You can
correlated to
contact-
me? I'm not in office, you idiot.
You can contact the Department of Justice to check the tapes on that. No, the question comes back to is what do you think and why do you think you are going to be the better part? What have you done in your business dealings? You claim to be this philanthropist and you claim to be this person who's going to help everybody. What have you actually done for the state?
What I've done for this state? How can I have any power if I'm not in office?
You've
been in office
You're
and you just
saying that you
dodged the
don't
question.
have the power. That's not true.
I don't.
just told you that I have. helped
I've
with the
given
other-
money
I've-
to homeless people. I've supported
Oh,
local
yeah?
businesses. I've helped many people, unlike you do, because you're not there enough to even do this. Silence, ain't that right? Keep your mouth shut.
Thank you very much. Next question. Mr. Rump, Vice Governor Serrano. The position of governor is responsible for listening to the concerns of our law enforcement and helping them do their jobs. Now, Mr. Rump, you have been endorsed by the BCSO Union. Vice Governor Serrano, you have been endorsed by the Paleto Bay PD Union and the San Andreas State Police Union. This is a question for both of you. Why do you believe that you are the better candidates to help our LEO departments? We will begin 30 seconds. Mr. Rump.
So, I'm better for law enforcement because, as we know, we have a lot of issues with funding and lack of interest to get on duty as law enforcement. This is obviously an issue of our current administration. Do we want to go over that again? I am here to make this place fun again. I'm here to make this place, useful. We're going to make cops actually have fun. Putting in more recruitments, more recruiting in state. We're going to make it great again for law enforcement like it was
Thank you,
almost a
Mr.
year
Rump.
ago.
Vice Governor Serrano, your 30 seconds.
I spent time as the chief of Paleto Bay Police Department. When I left my tenure, we were the #1 ranked law enforcement agency in the state. I spent time as the chief of detectives for state police, so I believe that I am uniquely qualified to assist our fantastic law enforcement teams moving forward. I know what they need. I understand what they need. And on the flip side of that, I understand what our civilians need too. It's not just one-sided. It takes two to tango. We need both parties to work together.
Mr. Rump, you can jump in at any time.
Now, Mr.
Now,
Rump,
you say that you helped Paleto Bay, but as soon as you stepped down, that came crumbling under your administration in San Andreas. Why didn't you assist the Paleto Bay? You just let them crumble like nothing happened. You let them die. How dare you just undermine our law enforcement? Who do you think you are?
Undermine our law enforcement. That is extremely rich, Mr. Rump. I have spent so much time working with our law enforcement across my
Clearly
varied
not, 'cause
career.
one of
Do you
our
know how many
is
bullets I've
failing
taken
right
for
now.
this state? How many times I've been shot at for this state, Mr. Rump? I find it
If you've
extremely
been shot at, then
comical
you should
that
go on duty.
I
Go
find
on
it
duty as a
extremely
law enforcement
comical
and not
that
be a
you're the one
politician,
sitting
you
here
useless prick.
telling me that you're the one who's going to fix this for law enforcement. How are you going to make it fun, Mr. Rump?
You
How
can
do you
keep on
define
getting
fun?
shot,
Mr.
but
Rump, how are you
don't
going to make it fun?
policies.
Mr. Rump,
How
are
am I
you going to make it fun? Yeah, how do you
Actually
make
it
law
enjoyable for
enforcement
the
fun?
people.
How is that, though? How? You're not saying
Do you
how.
remember
You're
how
just saying,
last year it was so... Can you not cut me off while answering a question? Thank you very much. Do you remember a year ago how our law enforcement agencies were so active and they enjoyed hopping in state and going on duty? It's because of our administration that we have currently. It's not a coincidence. After administration entered San Andreas, everything crumbled down. After Julian Specht, after Jack Lamb, after Serrano, there's a reason.
All right.
And it needs to be fixed.
Thank you. Next. I went a little over there, but all right. Next question. In the last few weeks, the Lamb administration was faced with unprecedented threats from Cayo Perico, which resulted in a coup in the Cayo Perican government and a takeover of the island by the San Andreas National Guard. The plan is for San Andreas to stabilize the island and then slowly return control back to the Cayo Perican people. Once that happens, how will you approach relations with Cayo Perico? We will start with Vice Governor Serrano. Your 30 seconds.
the most important thing that we can do is open up an embassy. We can get one on Cayo Perico. We can get one here. We can open up that red line so we can have the communication between both parties. And I think that's something that was severely lacking in the previous Cayo Perican administration. I mean, we can all agree that the former El Presidente had so many different issues and so many different problems, and it was such a violent and terrible regime.
Thank you. Mr. Rump.
Well, I think it's quite simple how to deal with the Cayo Pericans. It is simple that they are nice to us and we are nice to them. If they are aggressive towards us, we are aggressive towards them. We are here to work with the fellow nation. However, due to their past, we've already taken control of that nation. Are we right? I believe Jack Lamb's observation or administration, has taken over that island. And if it needs to be taken over again, I will. However, I'm willing to work with them to make that place fun and great.
Thank you, Serrano. You feel free to jump in.
Mr. Rump, you didn't actually answer that question. How would you open up the lines of communication? How would you work together with them? You talk all of these great
I just answered
plans.
that.
You talk all of these
I just
great plans,
told you
and
that I'd be
say
working
that
with
you
them.
want
I don't know
to.
what you're yapping about.
How are you going to work
it's
with them?
called diplomacy,
But how?
jackass.
But how?
Maybe you don't know that because you've never been to one.
How?
Anyways,
I've never been to a diplomacy. How
Have you?
would you? How would you do it?
Have you been
Rump?
there?
That's the question.
when's the
I've
last
asked.
time you've gone to a meeting with the Cayo Pericans?
Yeah, they just started like.
Silence, exactly. Pure fucking silence. This is exactly what I'm talking
This
about.
is see. This
He
is no.
fails
This
to be
is what
there.
I'm talking about. I have.
This is what I'm
absolutely
talking about. You
no-
had pure silence for the last 5 seconds. You don't even know how to answer that question.
Answer the question as far
Continuing
as where I've.
of your silence. Great. Next question, please.
Thank
Before
you.
I hear this guy.
Next. There are lots of business owners in the audience today, presumably. I think I see a few out there myself. How will you help bolster San Andreas business? Mr. Rump, go ahead.
I love this question. You know, I'm a big advocate for our businesses. If people have seen me around in the public, which they do, unlike Mr. Serrano, they can see that I always go to businesses supporting them, saying hello, buying items, etc. I love our low-income businesses, our high-income businesses. I just love the businesses we have in San Andreas. And I think that low businesses need to get funding. Of course, we're going to fix the economy by removing funding from useless things and putting them into real things like the people and law enforcement of San Andreas.
Thank you,
including the
Vice
businesses.
Governor Serrano.
Absolutely. My administration would have a set of business grants and business loans that we could use to assist lower performing businesses. It's just a quick, simple application and program for those folks that are going through those difficult
Mr. Rump, please do not
programs.
interrupt. Thank you. Proceed.
that are going through those difficult times, because I understand the fact that these people need our help. And by offering these grants and offering these loans to folks that need them, it's going to help these businesses move forward.
Thank you, Mr. Rump. Feel free to jump
So
in.
you're offering your help now. Why don't you just do it already? You're in office to provide help to them.
The question
No
always
answer,
comes
huh?
back to what you will do and what you will not do. I was the one who pushed through unemployment. I was the one who's pushed through a minimum wage, Mr. Rump. I don't quite grasp where you keep pulling these things from and you keep saying, no, you're not doing this. No, you're not doing that. Once you understand where this really all
Unemployment due to a
comes
shitty
from,
government.
unemployment due to I absolutely love the constant I'm
just asking a genuine
influences-
question. You say
the
that you're
genuine
gonna
question,
do things.
yeah.
Why not do them now?
because we're absolutely working on them.
No,
The-
you're
the-
not.
you
You've
act
been
like-
working
yes,
on them
we
for
are.
8 months. You've been working
That's-
on them for 8 months and nothing has come to it.
Unemployment insurance that we now have because of my
Unemployment
lobbying.
insurance? How does that have anything to do
Minimum
with
wage.
businesses, you fucking idiot?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Next question is a very prevalent one in San Andreas, and that is gangs. There are lots of gangs, especially in Los Santos, but also some up north. So, the question's very simple. How will you handle gangs, especially the violent ones, when you become the governor? Vice Governor Serrano, go ahead.
Gangs and terrorists and everything that this state has is something that is a real big issue. I mean, we've had Vagos, we've had STK, we've had all of these different gangs that have come through, the Watchers, and the most important thing that we can do is we can equip and empower our law enforcement officers and our Department of Justice to make the determinations and the ability to go after these criminals.
Mr. Rump.
Well, I think it's quite simple. If they're doing crimes, obviously the law enforcement is just going to get them. They're going to investigate them. They're going to put cases against them, and they're simply going to just RICO them if need be. I think it's quite simple to deal with the criminal gangs. I think you just put in law enforcement gang agencies, intelligence units, and get them working with those cases. Because gangs are not too big of an issue in San Andreas, but they are slightly an issue that could be fixed. And we need gang intelligence agencies
Serrano,
to do that, which
jump in.
DOA, my government department, will do.
Your government department is DOA, is that correct? And what exactly
In fact.
do you plan to? So how exactly are they going to assist the police departments that already have got drug units and gang task force and everything that's already equipped to handle that? How is that going to assist, Rump?
It's quite simple. It's the Drug Observation Agency. They're going to aid
Observe
helping
drugs
them with
or
resources.
resources? Okay, what kind of resources?
See, you're talking about government departments. How about we talk about the PIA?
You
How many
just
times
brought
are you
it
gonna
up.
use that
You
when
just
the PIA, when
brought
the
it up, Rump, but
Cryoporians
you
are
were the
already
one-
liberated?
I'm
How are you going to
so
use
confused
PIA?
because you just brought up your own governor agency or your governor department. So I was just asking you the question. So you just brought up that your DOA is going to be able to do all of this cool stuff to assist, and so I just wanted to know. That's my question, Rump.
It's
and it
going
was
to
pretty
aid law
straightforward.
enforcement. It's going to kill off the drugs and weapons problem. It's also going to work
Okay,
with
so
gang
what-
intelligence.
What exactly is the
The DOA
weapons
is here
problem?
to support our law enforcement agencies, unlike the PIA that's going to be useless and no longer used after a month.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
It's great that you agree with
No,
me.
no,
Thank
no.
you,
It's fine.
candidates.
It's fine. It's absolutely fine, Rump.
Thank you. Now, before we go on to the audience Q&A, I have a few individual questions, maybe call them tough questions for each candidate. So, the first one is we'll start with Mr. Rump. Mr. Rump, you have selected former two-term governor Meek Yu Long as your vice governor. But because Meek Yu Long has already been governor for 2 terms, he is ineligible to be the governor again. This means that if anything were to happen to you, Mr. Rump, God forbid, Meek Yu Long would be skipped in the line of succession and the attorney general would become the governor instead. So, sorry, Meek. Given that
I'm sorry, I'm gambling.
okay, thank you. Given that the main point of the position of vice governor is to be ready to take over the governor's job, how can citizens have faith in your government and your decision making if your choice for vice governor is one of the only people who legally cannot become the governor? You have 30 seconds. Go ahead.
This is an easy question. It's just going to skip the line of succession and goes to the AG's office. However, furthermore, I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. So, there won't be need to replace me. I'm going to be here at all times unlike Serrano is. He's always going to need a replacement because he'll never be there.
Don't get shot in the
Life
ear.
was almost assassinated, but a few days ago.
Yeah, then like a straight.
All right, thank you. And 60 seconds. Vice Governor Serrano, feel free to jump in.
Mr. Rump, why did you end up dumping?
Don't talk to me. Answer the question.
No, I believe this is a question for you. He didn't ask me that question. Why would he ask me about your running mate?
You make a compelling argument.
You two can discuss whatever you wish.
Yeah, so I just like how did
You got me
why
there.
did
You got me there.
Yeah. So that's the question is why did you dump Bernie Sanders so quickly in favor of Meek? Like what happened?
Bernie was a criminal, and I did not know at the time, which is why he's no longer in the campaign. We've replaced him with somebody that has the experience and, mentality to actually make this office good and make this state great.
Interesting mentality.
Thank you very much. All right. My next question for Vice Governor Serrano. You intend to create the PIA, the Patriotism and Immigration Authority, which will conduct audits and patriotism tests on everyone from immigrants all the way to the governor's office, rather. Critics say that this could be a violation of people's First Amendment rights of free speech and freedom of expression. How do you respond? You have 30 seconds.
First, I want to make something abundantly clear. Any patriotism checks, anything to that effect, are going to simply be non-punitive. What I see the problem is people have forgotten what it was like to be, or what it means to be a San Andrean. So anything having to do with patriotism, once those questions are asked, if there is anything that is doubtful in that, all the PIA is going to do is going to remind those folks what it's like to be a San Andrean, and whether that means bringing them to Burger Shot and buying them a double McBleeder with cheese, taking them to a gun store, or taking them to the firing range with an LMG.
Mr. Rump, jump in anytime. Go ahead.
So taking them
you're
to an
undermining
LMG.
the First Amendment, freedom of speech, by making the PIA. They can say whatever they want.
They can say whatever
be
they want.
either
There is no
patriots Or
undermining.
just Americans. Or
No,
just
they
San Andreas. They can be
absolutely-
whatever you want. So you're undermining their patriotism and
absolutely
forcing them to be
not.
patriots? Is that what you're doing?
Nope. What we're doing, or what that department would be doing, is first of all, helping assist in the customs side of things and the supporting port police. Oop,
She's trying to hit me?
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Are you good? Yeah. Okay.
sorry
So
about
assisting on the customs side of things, but what they're going to do is they're going to show folks what it means to be a San Andrean, and so they're going to take people and provide them with
So what you're
fireworks
saying is PIA
displays,
is
and
just
they're
going to
going to
essentially be
take them
another useless
and take
funding
them
agency,
to-
and you're just going to put less money
No,
to the actual
absolutely-
important
that is
things like
absolutely not
people.
Thank you,
It's
everyone.
actually going
Thank
to be
you.
funded through an
It's
executive
going to be
order,
funny
which will
for
expire.
then
Thank
having
you,
to get annoying
candidates.
and boring.
Next question. Next question for Mr. Rump. Mr. Rump, you have said on your campaign platform, quote, "I am going to fix the economy of San Andreas by removing funding from useless things." But you refused to elaborate, causing some worry across government departments who fear being defunded and believe your message is vague and perhaps poorly thought out. Could you, for us tonight, name 2 specific things you deem useless that you will remove funding from? You have 30 seconds.
Well, let's see here. Serrano and PIA. Just joking, but some useless things are going to be like the PET, the parking enforcement, and the DOC, the Department of Corrections that's never used.
Thank you very much. All right. Is that all, Mr. Rump?
Sure it is.
Serrano, feel free to jump in. 60 seconds.
Department
He has
of Correction.
nothing to say. Are you kidding me? He has nothing to say to that response, people. Do you see how incompetent this man is? Come on, answer. Spit it out. Come on.
What the fuck is wrong with you? You just cut him off.
The fact that this is your go-to move, Rump, which is to interrupt me in every fashion of the moment, it truly honestly speaks to the type of person that you are. And if this, folks, is the type of person that you want representing you, like that by all means is the candidate. But you're going to be finding somebody that if you want somebody that's actually going to listen and represent you and not shout and not scream and not try to talk over everybody else. I mean, that's what this is really coming down to. This is really what it is boiling down to, and I am in.
Absence
and
is
I
not
certainly
doing
understand.
stuff, Serrano. I hope you know that.
Thank you, candidates. Now, one more question to Vice Governor Serrano before we move on to audience Q&A. Vice Governor Serrano, you have recently visited the Vanilla Unicorn in Los Santos, and, well, pictures have surfaced on Birdie where you appear to be dancing shirtless on stage like a stripper.
I was there.
Given that my ex-wife used to work at the Vanilla Unicorn, how can voters have faith in your decision-making if you are engaging in the same behaviors as my ex-wife, Cass Lamb? 30 seconds.
Well, first of all, please don't ever compare me to Cass Lamb. Don't ever compare anybody to Cass Lamb. But that is
That's one thing we can agree on.
Yes, I'm with you. But listen,
Preach it, brother.
I think what it really boils down to is I literally have got. There's pictures of me during my retirement party when I retired from chief of police, dancing at the Vanilla Unicorn. There's literally nothing wrong with dancing at the Vanilla Unicorn. Those pictures are all over Birdie. I didn't try to hide it. I was a blast.
Thank you.
I had fun. Yeah,
Rump, feel free to
there's
jump
a lot
in.
of
60
people in here-
seconds.
There's a lot of people in here who danced. Rump
I
showed
mean,
up and was watching
Clearly,
and
when
was
he's at
watching
a
the
party,
show. And
when
Rump
he's in
was
state,
out there
he's at a
watching
party.
there. And
Instead
I
of
think that
actually
really
making
is what
policies and
boils
campaigning for
down
his governor
to
position,
is
he's
showing
out partying
that
at the Vanilla
it's
Unicorn.
not
How is that?
just something that is always going to be just this whole mess of.
He'd much
being-
rather be a stripper than your governor. I can say that right now.
He dances, he punches people.
I mean, at least he can dance.
I mean, I think that's a good point. I mean, we can turn this into a dance contest. Like, I got no issues with that. But it
Are
really
you
comes
looking
down
to
to is like
actually make policies or make this a dance contest?
you have got these fantastic one-liners coming from half of this room, but it really dancing at the Vanilla Unicorn and getting out there and doing that just shows that I am not this weird untouchable person. Like I have no issues going out there and dancing and having fun and doing that. It really just boils down to that.
Thank you very much. Now we move on to the audience Q&A portion of this debate. I think how we're going to do this is I'll just stand up over here at the front and pick random audience members. So, let's see. All right. Okay, if you have a question, please raise your hands in the air. Raise your hands if you'd like to ask a question. And also, I ask that you direct your question to only one of the candidates. That candidate will then get 30 seconds to answer, and then there will be another 60-second period of back and forth on that particular question. So, let's start with, well, I see Mr. Gordy Moss in the audience, our former governor. Mr. Moss, who is your question to?
Since I can only pick one person, I guess I'm going to go with Rump.
Go on.
Mr. Rump, many people have considered you a very controversial person for a lot of the language and things you've said, but there's also a lot of other controversies that you haven't been willing to talk about, like the allegations that you've taken your plane over to Red Chair Island. Would you care to comment?
What?
30 seconds.
Oh my God.
I don't know what these allegations you're talking about or are yapping about, but these aren't true, obviously. I'm not at the I was never at the lamb party.
I didn't say lamb. What the fuck?
What?
Jack
What?
Lamb, what are you
She's
doing
denying
on
it.
Red Chair Island?
Okay.
I was not at the lamb party.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to pause quickly to make sure everybody is aware there's no such thing as lamb parties. There's no such thing as rump freak-offs or whatever you might call.
Oh my god!
And for the record, I have never been to Speckstein Island. All right, sorry, I got a little angry there. Ladies and gentlemen, anyway, Vice Governor Serrano, would you like to hop in, perhaps answer that question?
Well, I'm not going to answer any question about Rump being on Speckstein Island, but what I will say is, you know, if elected governor, I will absolutely, no, I did not put in the DOC. I will absolutely investigate the Speckstein Island lists and will release them as soon as that investigation comes to a complete close, because I think that is extremely important that we have full transparency. So yes, the Speckstein Islands lists will be released.
Okay.
That's not true.
It's real great, Vice Governor. Okay.
You can say it's not, but we all know.
All right, you know what? Let's just
Well, we know you were there too.
Okay,
man,
let's
right?
end this at 30 seconds here, folks. All right, let's see. Let me go out here in the audience. Okay. You know what? Let's get front row. This the police officer in the cowboy hat. Go on. What's your question?
This is for Serrano. What do you plan to do on help funding police departments and the different departments that are around Los Santos?
Jack shit! Sorry.
Excuse me. Vice Governor Serrano, 30 seconds.
What do you want?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's extremely important. I know Governor Lamb right now is currently working on all of those budgets, but I think the most important thing that we can talk about here is ensuring that our elites and our uppers pay their fair share. And I think that's where this money needs to come from. So once we adjust and once we get these final budgets out and approved by the higher bureaucracy, or we'll say Congress in these matters, we will adjust and we will look accordingly. And I plan to fully meet with all of the high commands to make sure that their needs are met.
Feel free to jump in here. 30 seconds.
Meet with them now. Why don't you meet with them now? Higher taxes are just going to hurt the economy. Are you saying that you want to hurt the economy?
Higher taxes do not mean that it's going to hurt the economy, and that's
It's
only
gonna
on the
hurt
and that's
people's
only
paychecks.
on the
It's gonna make people poor and
elites.
struggle.
There are only 7 or 8 elites in the state, Rump. It's not for
there's still
everyday
people-
San Andreans, and everybody needs to those folks need to pay their fair share, and I think that's the important.
Thank you. By the way, we'll do 30 seconds and then 30 seconds from now on. Let's see. Next question.
I want it.
Let's take it. From the
Lost some sea.
audience member over there wearing the crazy butterfly pants and the lost MC jacket. Go on.
Right,
Damn,
right.
you, I
So
was
this
right
one's
in
for
front of you.
Excuse me.
this one
Excuse
is for Serrano Tex. All right, so it takes a good sidekick, right, to run this state. Who's your vice governor gonna be?
30 seconds.
Yeah, that's
why?
a
Blow up Malaysia.
that
He doesn't
is
have
a,
one because he doesn't have the time to pick one.
Stop cutting them off,
you
Orange.
know-
Being at the vanilla unicorn.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I
please
think-
let him answer the question. Go on.
Possibly.
All right, wait. Wait, it's time? Oh, all right.
Is it, ladies and gentlemen? I think I actually have an announcement that you might find interesting. Is that
Okay, Mr. Rump, you can
Meek,
jump in
is
here.
that a question that you wanted to?
You keep on dodging the question. Answer the question
Pipe down,
already.
baby carrot.
All you've
I'm
been
sorry.
saying is laugh, ha ha ah.
I'll go. I gaga. Pipe down.
I
I'm
agree.
hijacking.
Oh,
All right.
Mr. Long.
Shut
Let
the
it
fuck
happen,
up,
let it
Cobain.
happen.
I'm hijacking this fucking thing. I'm sick and tired. Oh shit,
me. Let it
I
happen.
got hit by a car. Fucking dump.
Mr. Long.
Get him, Meek.
I can't do nothing. Honestly,
Yeah,
I'm
me,
done with
go.
this shit,
Yeah,
man.
me,
I'm taking my
go.
pants off.
What? Okay, Mr. Long.
Crash out. Take them pants off, me.
Yeah, me.
What the?
Okay. All right. All right.
He's crashing. Oh shit, he's crashing out.
Okay. All right.
I like this. Confirmed.
Oh.
On the island.
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
Oh my God. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please, Mr. Long, I ask that you.
God.
What?
Wait, what?
Meek.
Okay.
Would you do me this honor?
No way.
Okay. Thank you for that. All right, let's move on.
Come back, Meek. Me, come.
Hey,
Oh
me.
my
yeah,
God!
I forgot my
He left him
parents.
just like his wife left him.
Okay.
I forgot my
Oh.
So
parents.
wait.
All right, everyone, please
What
get
was
back
my
in your
answer to the
seats. Please get back in your
Hey,
seats.
Meek. I just. Would you?
All
would
right,
You,
let's,
do me the honors.
But excuse me, we're moving on to the next question here. Mr. Long, what are you still doing on stage?
Something to say. Something to say, Jack.
Hey.
Meek You Long is going to be my running mate. Is going to be. My
What?
He's a coward. A rat.
Oh my God, you're cooked, Rump. You're fucking cooked.
Okay, well, this is a breaking story, I guess.
Hey, looking at his face, he looks more medium. Who's that?
Okay. All right then.
Give me it, Jack. Give me it. Give me the mic.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
You are a coward,
All right,
Meek, and I
can-
knew from the beginning.
Mr.
You're a
Long.
biker gang running for office.
We're not a gang, you dumb fuck.
I don't have a baby here.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's get Mr. Long, please exit the stage. We're moving on to the next question. Thank you. Okay.
Jack, give it to the commissioner, Jack.
We love you.
The commissioner's here.
I'm wearing orange here.
All right, question from the commissioner of San Andreas. Go on.
This is a question for Rump. You claim you know a lot about law enforcement and how you're going to help. So I want to hear some more about that because, frankly, I think you don't know anything about law enforcement.
Okay, all right, thank you. 30 seconds.
Is that the commissioner being biased? 7-7.
I mean, the guy doesn't know anything. He's a businessman.
Please, let Mr. Rump answer the question. Mr. Rump, 30
I think
seconds.
you fell asleep.
Can you restate the question? Because there's too many people talking around.
Go on, restate the question.
How do you plan on bettering law enforcement? I want you to elaborate more on that question.
30 seconds. Go
How
on.
do I help on bettering law enforcement?
How do you
I'm gonna fix
plan
the
on? So you
funding.
can't hear either?
Please, let him answer the question.
Well, clearly, I'm going to have someone that's going to assist me, which is going to be Grand Theft Auto, the deputy commissioner. He's going to know
one
how
I
to
appointed,
fix
right?
the state.
The one I appointed?
He's the one that I appointed.
Oh
yes.
my God.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So
All
you know
right,
nothing about law enforcement.
Vice Governor Serrano,
I
feel
do
free to
know
jump
a lot
in.
about
30
law
seconds.
enforcement.
Okay,
You
yeah.
just keep on
So
cutting me
nobody answered. You didn't answer the question, Rump. So I
You
still
kept
don't
on
know
cutting
how
me
you're gonna
off.
do
How
it.
can I answer
Oh,
the
how does it
question?
feel? How does that feel? It probably doesn't feel good, right? That's super odd. So why don't you answer the question now? Why don't you take the next 20 seconds and answer his question?
Again, I'm going to bring in my resources, which is going to be my running mate, Grand Theft Auto. He's going to
Okay.
help us make law enforcement great again.
How?
We're going to look at
How, though?
funding. We are Can you stop cutting me off? Go
Oh, is
back
that-
to stripping.
Yeah,
yourself.
you've
That's
been
weird.
cutting him off
That's
this whole
super
entire
weird.
time.
That's super
Thank
weird.
you.
Like,
We
yeah,
are out of
that's-
time. All right. Next question. Far in the back over there, the man in the blue jacket holding his hand high in the air. Theater, please.
Alright, so, Serrano, I want to know how, us as the civilians voting for you could trust you when you, want to call another politician a, baby carrot and have a man that was pantsless standing in the,
That's a crazy vice governor.
whatever that is, as, vice governor.
All right, 30 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, I didn't call. I haven't called Mr. Rump any names this election. You check the tapes, whatever. That
Yeah,
is
because you've been ignoring
something
me
that
because you're
I
scared
don't
to
do.
deal with
Mr. Rump, this is his 30
And,
seconds, please.
As far as Meek You Long, Meek was or is the most popular governor that this state has ever had,
Except for
and he has had, and he has had such a storied past of serving this state, and so yes, he's eccentric. And
Mr. Rump,
that's
you can
okay.
cop in.
And I think that's exactly what the state needs is somebody who's eccentric. We're
See,
going to
you
balance
need to
each other
steal
out
running mates
because
to win an
that's
election. Why
what
don't you be
the-
original?
That's what the situation comes down to. Is like it's somebody who's going to balance each other
You lack
out, and I think
originality,
that's
friend,
the important
and it's
part.
depressing.
And you've got somebody next to us who's just going to continue to insult and continue to scream. And so while he continues to insult me, like
That's
that's
the
fine.
point of
He's done
this.
that. He's
man
done
has
that
a
the
gun in
entire
his hand.
time.
What's the
Who
purpose of
does?
this? To cut you off.
One in the back.
Yeah, it's American.
All right,
Love
thank
guns.
you very much. We'll
Just-
get two more
literally-
questions here. Two more
There's literally
questions.
so-
Who has a question? Keep your hands in the air.
No, I guess somebody alleged. No, wait, hold on. Somebody does have a gun. Give it a second.
All right, we'll
It's the guy in.
pause
hey,
for
Jack,
a
the guy in
second.
the orange vest does have a gun.
They have guns!
Okay,
We all have guns! Everyone panic!
No, let's not panic. Everyone, please remain in your seats. Remain calm.
Everyone! This is America! Don't get
Mr. Moss, you are literally shouting fire in a crowded theater right now. Please, everyone remain seated.
Calm down!
Thank you. All right.
I didn't finish Wano yet.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you. Thank you.
Jesus.
All right. Final 2 questions.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Let's take final 2 questions. First from you, Mr. Man in the white jacket, who looks like a scientist. Go on.
Appreciate it. This one is direct.
Everyone, please
Mr.
take your
Rump.
seats. Take your seats.
This one is directed at Mr. Rump. Mr. Rump, can you further elaborate the current situation at arms with Kyle Perico? Because I don't feel safe with them on our coastline.
Well,
30
it's
seconds.
simple. They've already been liberated by the Lamb administration. We're simply gonna make a new government and work with their new government to make it great. We're just gonna, build borders, build, peace, and just make it great.
All right. We can move on. Vice Governor Serrano, 30 seconds. Jump in.
Again, how do you make it great? Like, what? How is there an actual plan to that? Like, how do you make it great?
Diplomacy?
But
Peace
what is the
treaties?
diplomacy? What is the diplomacy?
Where is your diplomacy? You haven't
what
done
is
any.
the
You could have dealt with the
No,
Kyle
what is the
Perican issue months
diplomacy?
ago, but you've lacked to do
Where is
it.
your diplomacy? Are you talking
How
about
can
the
I
peace
do
treaties
diplomacy
that
if
were
I'm not
in
in
place?
office?
Are you talking about the peace treaties that were in place, or are you talking about the peace treaties that we've got in place before the invasion? What exactly are you referring to? My question to you is, how are you going to use quote diplomacy end quote? What does that mean? Like, what is the
We're going
actual
to
plan?
communicate with their government to make new treaties, to make peace, to make sure that Kyle Perico is coordinated. What do you mean?
All right.
Something that you've lacked for the
Thank
past
you
8
very
months,
much.
that's for sure.
Final question from the
You've been too
audience.
busy
Final question.
Could you back up?
Me.
No, Mr. Moss, you've already asked your question.
Back up.
Keep your hands raised.
Back up. Back up.
Also, keep in mind, if the candidates stick around after this, you're more than welcome to ask them questions as well. But for now, the final question will come from... you know what? You, sir, in the purple jacket, over here at the front, with the blonde hair.
His skin suit ain't showing.
Alright, hello. So,
Theater, please.
hi. Eric Vasion, sponsor community programming. This question is dedicated to Serrano. You talk about taxing the 1%ers.
I don't know
That's
who the guy in the
correct?
white suit is. He just kind of rushed up.
Yeah, we did talk about yep, correct.
Oh, that's right. Okay. He caught
What
me
are you
off
gonna
guard,
do
okay.
about these 1%ers?
Yeah, I told him you should pop one, man, and then he ran back
for
up here.
example, not specifically LS Mayor Arlo Nadar.
Yeah, me kiss a honey pat.
Everyone, please, in the audience, please, quiet down. Quiet down in the audience,
I am so
please.
sorry.
Thank you.
All I heard was Arlo Nadar. What is your question? Are you asking on whether or not we're going to tax everybody? Sorry, somebody was.
Are you gonna tax everybody? Because like
Yes,
there's a lot of
there-
rich people as politicians currently, and like that seems like they.
There's no exemption for that. That's not something that you can just say, hey, I'm a politician and we're just going to get out of that. That's not how that works. So anybody who was in that elite tax bracket are the ones that are going to be the target for that. That it's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
What's in that?
There is no way to
Thank
say,
you.
hey, I'm the mayor, or hey, I'm the whoever it is.
Mr. Rump, you can jump in
I'm just gonna
anytime.
Get away with it.
Doing the
So
honey
I
pack with
think
the rhino
that's,
pill.
So you're trying
the
to provide a
important part.
burden to our
To the elite.
percenters.
To the elite,
just because they did well in life.
To the
You're
elite,
giving them the
so
burden to pay more taxes because they are wealthy. Is that why you're doing that?
to assist in funding law enforcement for the betterment of the state.
Why not
do you
just
have a
remove
problem
funding
with
from
funding
different things?
Do
The
you
things
have
that
a
you've lacked
problem
to
with
do
funding?
in office.
Do you have a problem with funding the rest of the law enforcement? Because it sounds like you're talking about not wanting to fund the law enforcement.
I just stated a plan that I had 30 minutes ago. Maybe you don't remember it.
Thank
'cause you're
you.
Too busy
Thank you.
stripping again.
Okay.
Maybe you
That's
fell asleep
very
mid-debate.
clever, very clever, Rump.
Now, ladies and
Next, you're gonna
gentlemen,
tell us they're eating
that
dogs and
ends
cats
the
and
audience
laying
Q&A. But again, I assume the candidates will be speaking with the voters after the debate. But
I just,
Uh,
weak deep. governor of Atlantis.
Okay,
and I have a very important question.
can we escort this individual off the White House, please? Sir, you need to sit down. Sir, all right, thank you very much. Thank you. Please don't answer that.
Can you allow Vice Governor candidates to go off for 30 seconds?
No, not this debate. Unfortunately, we are out of time.
Where'd he go?
So, ladies and gentlemen, given that this debate was already delayed a little bit, we're just going to probably skip the 3 minutes back and forth section and go right into closing statements. So, each candidate will have 60 seconds to make a closing pitch to the people of San Andreas. Everyone, please, there's a lot of commotion in the crowd. Please just take a seat for these last few minutes. Please, everyone in the audience, take a seat. We'll begin closing statements here. All right. Yeah, you Lost MC fellas, you Mr. Orange Fox Mask, please go on, take a seat. We are ending here in just 2 minutes. Thank you very much. All right. Please quiet down for the closing statements, 30 seconds each. Let's begin this time with Mr. Rump. You have 60 seconds.
Well, to begin, Serrano gives you all these ideas and policies where why hasn't he done it already? He could have done it months ago while he's in office currently. He gives you blank statements that he's going to do all these things with the lack of effort to actually do it. He's just going to be another burden, and do you really want another 4 months of him being in office? He's just going to cause more problems, keep things the same, and just make it even worse than it already is.
What the hell?
Furthermore, he plans on making another useless department, the PIA. It's going to be fun for a week, then it's going to get all boring and useless, and more funding is going to get out of the people and going to that bullshit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rump. Closing statements from Vice Governor Serrano. You have 60 seconds.
Everybody, you've heard a lot tonight, and we know what it's like to have somebody in the governor's office who doesn't act in folks' best interests, and it's really time that we get somebody who does act in everybody's best interests. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not trade Jack's ego in for Rump's. Thank you and good night.
Okay. Yeah, that's enough of that.
Undermining the current administration you are.
Thank you very
Are
much.
you kidding me?
All right, candidates,
Are you
please.
unfaithful of the active
Candidates,
administration
please,
that you
Mr.
run,
Rump.
Serrano?
Mr. Rump, please. Thank you very
insane.
much.
It really shows.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the first and only governor debates of the 2024 election. This is it. On Saturday, you will have a choice. Oh, God. Oh, what is going on here? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this Saturday, you have a choice between two candidates, Mr. Rump and Vice Governor Serrano. Votes this Saturday. And on Sunday, October 20th, we will have a new governor of San Andreas. Thank you for coming to the debates, and have a wonderful night. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody, for coming.
Democracy is non-negotiable. Thank you.